Hello and welcome to Clearview News Desk. We are reaching you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. First, the headlines. Catholic Bishops' Conference asks the federal government and the central bank to urgently make new naira notes available for Nigerians. It is too late to reconcile with PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar, Governor Wike tells Nigerians. United Kingdom reaffirms support for Nigeria to ensure credible and all-inclusive elections in the 2023 general elections. I am Gloria Attab with these and more. Welcome. The Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria has asked the federal government and the Central Bank of Nigeria to take urgent measures to increase the amount of the newly introduced naira notes in circulation nationwide to ease the current hardship the citizens are going through. Ahead of the February 25th presidential election, the clergymen enjoined the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) and security agencies to exhibit professionalism and avoid being biased in their conduct. In a communique issued at the end of their meeting in Abuja, the bishops urged the federal government and its relevant agencies to immediately increase the circulation of the new naira notes. They lamented that the twin scarcity of petrol and naira notes has imposed added suffering on the masses. Regarding the forthcoming general elections, the bishops urged all eligible citizens to come out en masse to vote for God-fearing, honest, vibrant and transparent leaders for a better Nigeria. Human rights lawyer Femi Falana says the suffering of the Nigerian people is worsening over the currency crunch and that President Muhammadu Buhari's Thursday broadcast gave no hope. Falana said this in a statement he signed on Thursday. According to him, Buhari's decision to allow only the 200 naira notes in circulation and keep the old 500 naira and 1000 naira notes out of circulation is not enough to end the crisis. He urged the federal government to comply with the judgment of the Supreme Court, which ordered that the old notes remain legal tender without any further delay. Meanwhile, CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele says he has met with 15 bank executives and directed them to make the 200 naira notes available immediately. Emefiele said this in Abuja on Thursday while speaking with State House correspondents shortly after attending a meeting between President Buhari and the House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee on New Naira Redesign and Naira Swap Policy at the State House Abuja. Emefiele appealed to Nigerians to be patient and allow the policy to work, which he says will go a long way in helping the economy. The CBN governor's position is coming a few hours after President Muhammadu Buhari's directive to the Central Bank of Nigeria to release the old 200 naira notes back to circulation.
I can only just appeal to Nigerians, let's allow this policy to work. This policy is one policy that goes to solve the problem of reducing corruption and illicit financial flows. This policy goes to resolve some of the problems in the economy. This policy also goes to reducing the level of insecurity in the country. So these three issues, which are the tripod of this administration's policy, are all embedded in this policy. We should just allow it to work. We keep saying this. There are some temporary pains, but I can assure Nigerians that the long-run benefit to Nigeria is overwhelming, and we should just give it a chance to work. The President has given his directives. I have met with about 15 banks this morning later, and we've given them directives about how they should make all the old 200 naira notes available effective today. And I can assure Nigerians that this will help to reduce the pains. We meet with the bankers at least once daily to get feedback and the rest of them. And I think we should just allow this policy work. The pains, temporary pains, are regrettable, but I can assure Nigerians that it will be well.
The CBN governor says the Apex Bank will continue to ease the sufferings currently faced by Nigerians due to the cash crunch. Agencies and individuals with supervisory roles in the financial have been berated for their silence after the recent attacks on bank workers and destruction of bank facilities. In a press briefing held Thursday by unions in the financial sector in Lagos, the president of the union, Olusoji Oluwole, said the incident has led to loss of lives and funds of innocent Nigerians.
Speaking on the issues surrounding the implementation of the new redesigned Naira notes and the CBN's cash withdrawal policy, the President, Association of Senior Staff of Banks, Insurance and Financial Institutions, Olusoji Oluwole, said the much-awaited but belated address by President Muhammadu Buhari confirms the fact that insufficient funds were released to the public.
We are amazed that in the same breath, bank officials have again been accused of, and I quote, placing obstacles in the path of innocent Nigerians. We sympathize with our colleagues and employers in various banks whose branches were attacked, damaged, or burnt along with their equipment.
He had earlier pinpointed challenges due to lack of engagement with stakeholders regarding implementation of the new redesigned Naira notes and the CBN's cash withdrawal policy.
Our fear of the impact of this deafening silence from the authorities came to reality yesterday, Wednesday, the 15th of February 2023, when disgruntled citizens again went on rampage in Edo, Delta, Ogun and Oyo states, attacking and burning down banks and other institutions.
The union therefore called for engagement with relevant stakeholders to create more awareness to discourage panic withdrawal and hoarding of the new currency, while asking the government to provide industry-wise incentives to encourage the transition from cash transactions.
And now to politics. With the 2023 general elections a little over a week away, Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has ruled on further talks or reconciliation with the presidential candidate of his party, the PDP, Atiku Abubakar. He says it is too late and there is nothing anyone can do about it now. Speaking during a live media chat on Thursday, Governor Wike says he is no longer interested in sitting down with anybody and that Rivers people are fully aware of the direction the state is headed.
With barely 9 days to the much-anticipated 2023 polls, Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike, in a media chat with journalists, lent his voice on a number of issues surrounding him and his party. Top on the list was the growing rumor that he imposed the Rivers State PDP governorship candidate, Sim Fubara, on the party. According to Governor Wike, Fubara's emergence was entirely the decision of elders of the party. While pledging to support Sim Fubara to succeed, Governor Wike said he does not intend to be a godfather to his successor.
Osinjokucha drafted an agreement which was signed by all of them that whoever the leaders bring, we don't want our house to be divided. Whoever the leaders bring, we will follow. God being on his side, he may even surpass what I've done.
Yeah. He can withstand all the forces?
Who are the forces? Let me show you who are the forces. Where are they? That you supported somebody to be a governor does not mean you should begin to dictate what the person does. But you can't also run away. If he needs your advice, you give 1 or 2 advice based on your experience.
Speaking on the leadership crisis that has pitched his group, the PDP G5 governors against the presidential candidates and leadership of the party, with the issue still far from being resolved, Governor Wike said he has ruled out further talks with the party's presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar.
25th is coming. 25th is here. 25th is here.
Just 9 days.
9 days. Everybody will see it.
Is it time enough for you to still, make final last-minute peace?
No, we can't do that.
It's over forever.
It's over.
It's over.
It's over.
Between you and...
We have said it, that not anybody can do about it now. They believe that they have won elections, so they don't need us.
When you mean it's over, you work against his interest.
I told
that's
you,
what
I'm not ready to sit down again with anybody. That's not, you know what you want to interpret.
Governor Wike also used the opportunity to call on the people of Rivers to vote wisely for leaders that will advance the growth of the state.
And vote according to your conscience and where you know that Rivers State will benefit. My paramount job is benefit of Rivers. I'm not here to satisfy anybody. I'm here to satisfy Rivers people. If I know that Rivers' interests will not be protected, I will not tell them to go there.
The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) has decorated 53 newly promoted senior officers of the Corps. As our correspondent now reports, the officers were promoted after coming out successful in the exams of the Civil Defense, Correctional, Fire and Immigration Services Board.
Are we in the performance of our official duties? Eschew and expose corruption? And we will also not corrupt others, or aid, or abet corruption.
It was an atmosphere of cheerfulness and celebration as the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps decorated 53 newly promoted officers at its headquarters in Abuja. Speaking at the epoch-making event, the Commandant General of the Corps, Abubakar Audi, said the promotion, which is based on merit, was given to deserving officers who have worked assiduously and satisfied all conditions to attain the new height. He therefore charged the newly promoted officers and other officers present to show more loyalty, dedication and discipline in the discharge of their duties.
Promotion to this cadre in the service, commandants and above, is very, very key and sensitive. You must demonstrate highest level of loyalty. We want you to be loyal, to be dedicated. You must mentor others who are coming, younger ones who are coming, up.
Speaking earlier, the Secretary of the Civil Defense, Correctional, Fire and Immigration Services Board, Mrs. Aisha Rufai, said the promotion process was thorough and transparent. Other speakers at the event also urged the newly promoted officers to show diligence and humility in the course of carrying out their duties in the Corps.
I also want to congratulate those who have been promoted that are about to be decorated. It is a challenge to you to more is expected out of you.
It is also important to remind you that to whom much is given, much more is expected. On this note, you are expected to rise to the new challenges and the new assignments to be given to you.
This promotion is coming at the right time because by next week we are going for the election. And those people that are giving the new rank now, they are going to be assigned with new responsibility. And I know they are going to mark their rank with the new responsibility they are going to give.
Among the newly promoted officers was the Public Relations Officer of the Corps Headquarters, Olushola Odumosun. Speaking on behalf of the promoted officers, the NSCDC spokesman appreciated God and the management for selecting him and pledged his commitment to fulfilling the mandate of the Corps.
Whatever capacity I find myself, I'm going to put in my best. I'm going to do my best to lift the name of the Corps. Just like we've been doing, we'll sustain it, we'll keep the flag flying, and we'll take the Corps higher to the next level.
Among the 53 promoted senior officers, 8 commandants were promoted to the rank of Assistant Commandant Generals, and 45 deputy commandants were promoted to the rank of commandants. If you are just joining us, you're watching the news on Clearview News Desk. When we come back, we bring you stories on women and children. Stay with us.
The news continues now with stories from our area of specialization, women and children. After the main transmission of our news, we rebroadcast on our YouTube page, Clearview TV. Do you operate a women or children's NGO? Are you at the helm of affairs of a government establishment or a corporate organization involved in the affairs of women and children? Then you are our partners in progress. We have a mission to better the lot of our women and children. Join us to celebrate womanhood and work assiduously to better the lot of the Nigerian child. This is our mission.
Welcome back. The British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Katrina Lang, says the government of the United Kingdom is supporting Nigeria to ensure free, credible and all-inclusive elections in 2023. Lang said the UK would monitor the elections closely as they trust INEC to deliver on its mandate by ensuring every Nigerian enjoys the dignity to exercise his or her rights. Clearview's correspondent has the detail.
Nigeria's election on 25th February and March 11 has been described as pivotal to the progress of democracy in Africa, where military coups and attempts by long-standing rulers to cling to power have raised fears of a democratic culture in Africa. The British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Katrina Lang, also emphasized the importance of this election and how, if successful, should be a thing of pride as Nigeria continues to show other African nations that democracy is possible.
Election in Nigeria is really important, not just for all of you as Nigerian citizens, but for this region, West Africa, where sadly we've seen quite a lot of democratic backsliding, for Africa as a whole and for the world. The world's eyes will be on Nigeria, are on Nigeria, and what happens here will send a very strong signal.
Lane also expressed the UK's government's optimism that Nigeria will deliver free and fair elections in 2023. She also said the UK government had been supporting the electoral processes in Nigeria by ensuring that the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) got the processes right and working with civil society organizations to carry out advocacy.
In the run-up to this election, and indeed following the last election, and I was here for the last election, we've continued to invest in trying to create the conditions for a credible, free and fair, secure election, recognising, of course, this is a job primarily for Nigeria, but we try to play our part. So we've worked very closely with INEC and with civil society to ensure that they are fit for purpose. Obviously, it's crucial on the 2 days, February the 25th and March the 11th, that everyone feels they can go out and exercise their democratic right to vote freely, fairly, without any intimidation. So that means that the heads of the political parties in particular must commit to respect the outcome of the vote and signal that to all of their supporters. And if indeed they are going to contest anything, that needs to be done through the judicial process, not through any violence. To Nigeria, to West Africa, to Africa and the world, and that the UK remains absolutely in step with you as you go and continue your democratic journey.
The High Commissioner emphasizes that the visa sanctions on electoral offenders remains an effective mechanism for deterring people from engaging in electoral violence. She also ordered that the political parties are supportive of this policy. Florence Joshua reporting for Clearview News.
Barely 72 hours after the federal government unveiled a diplomatic duty-free village in Abuja, in line with the United Nations Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations domesticated by Nigeria in 1961 through the Diplomatic Immunities and Privileges Act of December 1962. This status has made it possible for the exemption of diplomats from all duties and taxes, whether national, regional or municipal. Clearview's correspondent tells us more on why the initiative is practiced worldwide and its economic advantages.
Diplomatic Immunities and Privilege Act 1962 empowers the Federal Ministry of Finance to exempt diplomats from all taxes, including duty-free shopping facilities in several countries such as Ghana, Kenya, South Africa, Tanzania, and other European countries. In line with government's responsibility to ensure the physical security of diplomats and their families, hence the all-in-one building. The managing director of the diplomatic village, Uche Udozo, who gave a tour of the facility, said this also gives the Nigerians an opportunity to produce local products which meets global standard and can be easily bought by diplomats who visit the facility, as in the case of paintings by some internally displaced persons who will be given 100% of their proceeds when sold. This is essential to the strict control of individual requests for waivers on imported items by diplomats. Also, the duty-free facility will enable the government to maintain a database of products.
Nigeria is where we have the largest contingent of diplomats on the continent. Diplomats, you want them to stay in your country and actually also spend in your country. It has huge economic benefit. We lose revenue, so this is going to curb revenue losses highly, and it gives the proper information that the government needed to have to say, okay, look, we have granted this level of waiver to diplomats. You can now track the level of waiver granted these diplomats through a database. And this is a way of supporting those people within the rural areas. And those artworks we take no extra charge from. So they display here for free, and we remit everything that we have collected full 100% to them.
No doubt, the services provided by the duty-free facility will drastically reduce the volume of diplomatic shipments into the country. The services of the duty-free facility will further provide an additional platform and opportunity for members of the diplomatic community to enjoy this dividend. The facility has different interesting and top-notch sections ranging from shopping center, recreational services, spa, eye center, restaurants, and more. Florence Joshua reporting for Clearview News.
And that's the news. But before we go, a recap of the top stories.
The Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria has asked the federal government and the Central Bank of Nigeria to take urgent measures to increase the amount of the newly introduced Naira notes in circulation nationwide to ease the current hardship the citizens are going through. In a communique issued at the end of their meeting in Abuja, the bishops urged the federal government and its relevant agencies to immediately increase the circulation of the new Naira notes. Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has ruled out further talks or reconciliation with the presidential candidate of his party, the PDP, Atiku Abubakar. Wike said it is too late and there is nothing anybody can do about it now. The governor spoke during a live media chat. We also told you that the British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Katrina Lang, has said that the government of the United Kingdom will support Nigeria to ensure credible and all-inclusive general elections. Lang said the UK will help monitor the elections closely, trusting INEC to deliver on its mandate.
Remember to like us on Facebook, Clearview Television. Follow us on Twitter at Clearview Online. Follow us on Instagram at Clearview News. And also remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Clearview TV. Many thanks for watching. I am Gloria Atta.